What is up, MSF family? GoofyRhexxi here, and welcome back to the weekly headliner. I don't know what that was. Let's just move on from. Listen, a lot of stuff to talk about this week. We got some events ending, and then we also have some recurring events coming back towards the end of the week as well. Jubilee is fast approaching, a lot faster, by the way, than we thought that she was going to be approaching. We're going to talk about some potential dates there. DD4 Rewards. We got some exciting news on DD4 Rewards. Very, very excited to talk about that. Patch week is also this week, and we got some new updates, man. You know, some compensation coming to us. We also got some characters, or a character that's going to be farmable or fountainable. We got that and more to talk about, guys, in this week's weekly headliner, and we're going to start right now. All right, the very first thing on the docket is the Blitzes. Let's talk about the Blitz, right? So the first character is going to be Spider-Man Miles, and real kudos, man. Big shout out to Scopely. I appreciate you guys doing that. Black History Month, in celebration of Black History Month, they are going to be doing some Blitzes, you know, for that. Spider-Man Miles is the first one, and I think this is actually a pretty good one too, in my personal opinion, because Spider-Man Miles, man, you know, pretty cool early character to get, you know, that you can use in for some of your hero stuff. He's also a character that you can use. He's Spider-Verse. So remember, Spider-Verse characters do unlock Shuri, you know, so if you can get some good shards on Miles, for early players, by the way, this Blitz does not include any event going on. There's no covert ops. Covert ops is done. So you are going to have an opportunity here as an earlier player to really kind of climb up, as you know, to be able to get those extra shards, man. You can also use Miles in Block Party, you know, so, and then I completely forgot about this. Hero 7-1. I use Miles in Hero 7-1 with Miss Marvel Symbiote Spider-Man. You know, he was kind of like a nice little help with some control, slow down some characters, disrupt them. It was actually really dope to be able to use Miles, man. And he's a part of the Young Avengers team too. So if you're like me, you have an infatuation with the Young Avengers team, then you can also use him there. So really cool character to use, man. Iceman is going to be the next Blitz, new character Blitz. That's going to be on Thursday. So that's going to be pretty big, high numbers here. As you can see, you know, these are what the numbers are typically every week now, right? Because we've been doing so many Blitzes, so many new character Blitzes, and we've also just been having a crazy amount of events. So Blitzes that just have been extremely high, you know, so you know, I would say here that, you know, these are probably what the numbers are going to be for Iceman. For Miles, definitely going to be different because a lot of the later players already have him at 7, so you're not going to have to worry about that too much. Still watch it though, because, you know, maybe some mid-game players might be going hard, but for Iceman, definitely everybody and their mama going to be blitzing. For Iceman, you know, Iceman definitely does need stars, like stars for sure. He's not going to be farmable for a while, right? Based on the way that we see this game going. Going to be farmable in 2027, but Iceman is pretty important for the Astonishing X-Men team, you know, and he also does need high red stars, you know, so we're going to talk about some red stars of Iceman a little bit later, you know, so these are probably what the numbers are going to be: 44 at the top, 34, 23, 12, you know, so definitely prepare yourself for that, guys. And yeah, you know, wish you all the best where it comes to setting timers, not living life, not eating food, whatever, you know, it is that you got to do in order to be able to get those high numbers in Blitz. Yeah, just do what you got to do, baby. And then when it comes to the events, we got some events, like I said, that are ending. The XP Overdrive, that's going to end in a couple hours or a few hours today. Right now it says 1 day and 3 hours for me. That's because I am from the past. No, I'm recording this the day before, so that's the reason why it says a day and 3 hours. But yeah, so just make sure that you rack up on those XPs. Especially for those who are shooting for level 80, this is definitely going to help. Keep in mind, though, this is only for ISO 8 campaigns. So this is not for your regular campaign energy. So obviously, if you don't have ISO 8s yet, then this is probably irrelevant to you. But for those who do have ISO 8s and have the campaigns, definitely make sure that you take advantage of this double stuff, right? This extra XP that you're going to be getting. Also, the White Queen Emma's event is also going to be ending too. I know it's sad. This is the last one. Spend your gold, use your campaign energy, War Warrior points, finish those early, right? Do stuff like that to make sure that you are not going to be missing out on these Emma shards. Emma is amazing. you know, so definitely make sure that you go ahead and that you take care of that. And then we also do have Chaos Theory coming back, you know, so Wakanda is coming back, you know, so make sure that you also do get yourself ready. Shuri, you only need for the tier 5 level of it, tier 5, 6, and then 7. Shuri basically carries, but obviously if you have her for 1, 2, and 3, you know, that could be helpful too. But for the most part, people tend to not. But listen, if you do have the other Wakandan characters at 1, 2, or 3 stars, 4 stars, then just make sure that you're kind of just keeping your mind on this. Maybe you need to level up some of the characters a little bit to get to, so that you can actually complete the event. They normally do give you, you know, kind of what you need in terms of like levels of the characters here, right? If you click on this and you come here, you can kind of see what you need. This is kind of like their estimate, I guess, of what you might need, but up to you. Just take a look at that. Make sure that you get yourself prepared for it, and you know, do the best that you can, right? The next portion that I wanted to talk about, next thing I wanted to talk about here is the February calendar login is going to be Ironheart. She's a late game farm, man. She's in villain 7-9. It's kind of hard to get to. So for earlier players, very good. For me, I'm going to be able to get her to 6 stars. Yeah, there could have been better characters, but this is not a bad character. Power Armor is a very usable and used a lot war offense team. I use them, you know, to beat somebody every time in war whenever I have it. So, you know, very good team, in my opinion, very good war team. And I think also they can be used for your Doom campaign now. I think a lot of people use them, or some people use them for the Taskmaster node in Doom 3.9. So Power Armor is still good, you know, still definitely relevant in this game. And the next portion that I wanted to go through here is Iceman. So I don't know if you guys remember this, but in the beginning part of last week, we had Iceman. Iceman was supposed to be boosted in the Red Star orbs for 5 minutes, though he actually was not when he was released. So they're going to be given some compensation for that early this week, you know, so look for that. I'm assuming that's most likely going to be in-game mail, right? So look for that. I hope, though, that they don't do like what they did with Emma. With Emma, if somebody opened up a 5 red star, you know, a 5 red star elite orb, right? They gave them a 5 red star, you know, Emma at the time. I hope they don't do that with Iceman. It kind of gave people a little bit of an unfair competitive advantage, you know, so I would think and would hope that they just give them back the orb and not give them the character, you know, because obviously you can't predict who you're going to land from opening up an orb. It's just, you just hope that with the boosted rate that you're going to be able to get that character. But also they are going to be extending the Red Star orb for Iceman up until patch day, which is February 2nd, 11 a.m. Pacific time, you know, so that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Like I said, you know, Iceman definitely does need those Red Stars. So try to make sure that you can open up those Red Star orbs and get what you need. And then fountainable. Electro is going to be fountainable in the Blitz store. So, you know, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. But where the hell is Beast? Where? Electro was released after Beast. So where is Beast? Why is Beast still not farmable? He's a part of the Astonishing X-Men team. You said that he was going to be available months ago. And he's still not available. So where is Beast going to be available? Why is he not available? I thought the Blitz store would have been a good place for Beast to go. Now Electro is there. So now I'm like, where's Beast going to go? That's the question that I have. That's the question that this community has. Squirrel Girl was released before or around the same time that Beast was. And Squirrel Girl is farmable. We already know Emma's going to be forever before she gets farmed. You know, she's probably going to be throwing the milestone orbs after her event or whatever is done, probably months from now, right? But Beast, man, Beast has been around for a while. This man needs to be farmable. Once again, my Blitz timer is going off and I apologize. But seriously, when is Beast going to be farmable? That's one of the things that I definitely want to know. I'm happy that Electro's farmable, but I definitely think Beast is also a character that needs to be farmable as well. Now, next on the docket is patch day. We got patch day coming or incoming on Tuesday, as we already know. This is one of the things that what I'm thinking is probably going to be somewhat talked about on patch day, right? What was this Twitter picture for? You know, we saw White Tiger in a Strike Time video, and like we saw her down as a character being upgraded, and we saw this picture from Twitter from the Marvel Strike Force Twitter page with Daredevil and Elektra. So I'm assuming that at some point in time, maybe they might be getting a rework, because it just seems really weird, like at the fact that those three characters are together. We already know that Jubes and Bishop are going to be a part of this patch. Looks like White Tiger is going to be a character there. A lot of people are speculating that Black Knight is going to be the next or the fourth character. There's going to be 4 characters in this patch. People are suspecting that it's going to be Black Knight. I don't know. I'm not even quite sure exactly where Black Knight would fit in, because okay, let's think about this for a second, right? Maybe Daredevil gets reworked to go on the Ham team, right? And then White Tiger goes on Defenders, Black Knight goes on Defenders, because now you're losing Punisher to Skill Military, and maybe potentially you might be losing Daredevil to Skill to the Hand team, and then maybe White Tiger and Black Knight are going to be a part of the Defenders team, and then they're going to be good again. I don't know. I think I heard too that Black Knight was also military, so he could also potentially fit on the military team. Man, I don't know. All this stuff just makes my head hurt, honestly. So I don't just y'all let me know about y'all predictions, man. I did, yeah, that's all, folks. I have no idea. So the next thing I hope that they fix, though, is this thing right here. You remember this? Back a couple months ago with RTA, they said that they were going to make some fixes and some switches. The first one was that they were going to fix matchmaking, right? Matchmaking was the one that they were going to make a fix to. And then they also talked about legendaries, not including individual legendaries, you know, as a part of the objectives for you to complete. But they also addressed and talked about players quitting. And if a player quit, they were going to say that the AI would take over, so that you know, who did not quit the match would still be able to complete the match and potentially get things like knockouts, right? First and foremost, I do want to address the matchmaking aspect. It's gotten better, but I still hear that earlier players are still getting some pretty unfavorable matchups. So hopefully they do still fine tune that a little bit. But for patch day, I'm hoping that RTA is going to be fixed. You know, that the quitting aspect is going to be fixed. I do also want to say this too, that if matchmaking was actually completely better, that people probably wouldn't quit as much. There definitely still going to be some people who will quit, and you know who you are. You know who you are that will quit. But at the same time, I think that quitting wouldn't be as bad if they actually made matchmaking even if they improve matchmaking a little bit more. But I'm hoping that this is one of the things that they're going to fix in the patch, that they're going to make it so that, you know, you're still not getting nothing out of a match if you load up a match and somebody just quits. I'm hoping that they're not just going to, they're going to fix this so that that's going to be one of the changes, you know, in this patch update. Other bugs too, like the Thor bug, there's a war bug, you know, with teams still being available. You know, if you're, man, I'm forgetting. I think like there was a patch where there was a period where like offensive teams would show up even if you had them on defense. That was weird. And then the anomaly detectives have been picked up a little bit more. So hopefully they're going to be changing up some stuff, you know, when it comes to fixing up some bugs here. But hopefully patch day is going to be a good one. Hopefully there's going to be some good info, you know, coming from patch. But, you know, yeah, the biggest thing is the new characters, right? The new characters, you know, who are the new characters going to be? Are there going to be some switches around? We should find out. We're going to be getting a blog post as well, I think, on Tuesday, or at least some updated information, you know, from Marvel Strike Force on that Tuesday as well. So we're definitely looking forward to that. The next portion of it is stuff from a blog post, and like Totally Jubilee, looks like it's going to be coming a little bit quicker. That's going to be the legendary event like Totally Jubilee. So Pimtech, we already know, is going to be a team that you're going to need to unlock a Jubilee. When this blog post came out, I was a little perplexed because Nick Fury, they said that Jubilee's event was going to swap. They were going to swap it out and do like Totally Jubilee. I was confused as to why Nick Fury was going to be the next legendary event anyways. He's usually like after Star-Lord, Invisible Woman, you know, so I was curious as to why that was happening anyways. And why, honestly, Nick Fury is not permanent kind of baffles my mind a little bit. I think he ultimately should be a permanent legendary. Not that he's not an important legendary, it's just that who you have to farm to get him as a legendary, it's just not a team that you want to use. Like, he's still usable, but he's just not that usable to the point where I want to farm Kree minions, you know. So either way, Jubilee seems to be coming a little bit earlier. It looks like there's a potential chance, man, that she might be on the 8th or potentially on the 15th, which kind of would hurt, I think, a lot of players, which might be their intent. Maybe they want to force you to spend more money on getting Pimtech characters ready. But this right here is ultimately, if they do it on the 8th, I don't think a lot of players are going to be ready who potentially could be ready for unlock, might not be ready for the unlock, or who could potentially be ready for a 6-star Jubilee might not be ready for it. So my hope is that they delay it until the 15th to give us some time, you know, so that we could, I guess, recuperate or reset the war store 700 times a day and spelling a buku amount of cores. You know, some people think it's going to pay for the character offers when they come out, which is completely fine too, which is probably what they want, you know, which is why they probably moved it up a little bit earlier. I thought this was interesting too. They gave us some recommended requirements, you know, for the, or updated recommended requirements. They're saying that they're going to be making the legendary events a little bit harder than what they were before. So level 60 gear tier 11, you know, 6664, 4 red stars. The red star one, what? Like, we can't control red stars, bro. Like, why would you put recommended requirement as red stars? I can't control red stars. Can you control red stars? I've had some horrible red stars. Go ask my Kitty Pride and my Yellow Jacket, you know, how many red stars they have after pulling over 20 plus basic red star orbs and a couple of elites. 2. They're at 2. So I don't know why they would have red stars as a progression or as a recommended requirement. And then Star Tech, I guess, whatever, like, who cares? I'm hoping that this is not going to be as hard as or it's not going to be harder as they say it is. You know, Ebony Maws is the only one that I'm like, this is difficult. So hopefully for Jubilee, it's not going to be that complex. I don't like it either way, man. I just, whatever, bro. Let's move on. Dark Dimension 4. I think, let's say, Jubilee might be on the 15th. I'm hoping on the 15th, but she also could potentially be on the 8th, which would really kind of suck, I think, for a lot of the player base. So I'm hoping that they consider not allowing it to be that early, in my opinion. I think that's going to be, it's just going to be a nightmare, I think, for a lot of players if it's moved up a little bit earlier. Then for Dark Dimension 4, real quick update on this here. First of all, watch Rubberneck Shake It. It's funny. I think a lot of us were looking forward to watch Reminex Torque It. I think we would have preferred that. Hopefully that's not bad for me to say on this YouTube channel. All right, but I think the bigger aspect of this was that we do finally have an update in regards to what we can get. We're gonna have an option here to choose either Ghost or Coal Obsidian for our as our 100 character shard option. So I think that's going to be, you know, based on in-mail. I guess you're going to have the option to choose which one you want. I'm hoping that they're going to be doing that quickly if they're going to be moving up Jubilee, but my fingers are not crossed, because most likely they normally do that stuff with a calendar, and that calendar is normally like 21 or 28 days. Sometimes it's it could be 14, 21, or 28 days, and which means that people might miss getting the shards for the Jubilee event anyways. I know I'm going to be choosing Ghost mainly because I already have Cole at 5 and he's very far from 6. All I need is Ghost to be able to unlock the legendary, so I'm definitely going to try to go for Ghost. I completely understand the argument for Cole as well, but that is what we're looking at here in terms of the Dark Dimension 4 rewards. Thank you, Yags. Thank you, Cindy, for, you know, helping us out here with this. I'm excited about that portion of it, but I don't know whether or not it's going to be within time. But listen, that's all we got to talk about here on the weekly headliner, guys. I think there's so many more things that we could probably dive into, but we're going to be getting the patch on Tuesday. So hopefully, you know, then we'll have some more information and we'll be able to talk about some more stuff as we move forward. But listen, guys, appreciate you guys watching this video. Let me know if you have any questions about anything. What are your thoughts? When do you think the legendary event could be? What do you think about the new requirements? Or harder requirements for legendary events. I don't really think it's that difficult. I don't like the 4 red star, like blatantly labeling out or talking about 4 red stars. That perplexes me a little bit. But listen, guys, appreciate you guys so much for watching the video. We'll continue to do this again next week. Love y'all much. Hopefully we have a good patch day, and y'all be blessed and y'all be safe.